A possible coalition of three parties, the Civic Coalition, the Third Way and the Left, guarantees 248 seats. That means a parliamentary majority. The so-called United Opposition is in fact made up of many factions with major differences in their programs, including on the issues of changing the abortion law, increasing or reducing the social benefits and migration policy.
Pierwsza rzecz to najpierw decyzja pana.
The first step is the appointment of the Prime Minister, which we are waiting for. With the Third Way, we can talk about forming a coalition. The People's Party has conservative views and conservative voters, and they can safely implement their program with us.
Że większość w trzeciej drodze, szczególnie.
In the second constitutional step, a group of at least 46 members of parliament can nominate a candidate for the post of prime minister. The Sejm then re-elects the prime minister, and by an absolute majority in the presence of at least half of the number of deputies. At present, the opposition is unable to determine who will lead the government. We are not talking about personal details at the moment. We wait for talks with the president.
Oczywiście, że Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz.
Of course, Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz has excellent qualification to become prime minister. He has experience as government official and parliamentary leader who has formed many coalitions.
Doskonałym kandydatem na premiera.
I believe that the president should entrust Chairman Czarzasty with the task of forming a government.
Liderowi Zjednoczonej Lewicy.
You can't even decide among yourselves who will form the new government. Leaders of the opposition parties are pressuring the president to convene the Sejm as soon as possible and give the opposition the task of forming a government. The president has already declared before the elections that he would entrust this task to the party that won the elections. Donald Tusk is pressing Mr. President hard, but the president is following the constitution. There is one party that got the most support. But the opposition is confident. The leader of Poland 2050 has announced that coalition talks have begun. The position of a Sejm speaker is of interest to the Third Way. Szymon Hołownia announced that the coalition agreement will be made public. However, Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz opposes the inclusion of ideological issues on abortion proposed by the left. In the new Sejm, MPs will have to prove their credibility once again. The reform of the judiciary is a milestone for the COVID funds, and immediate payments from the reconstruction funds were one of the Civic Platform promises. Tusk has already backed away from his promise to unblock the COVID funds immediately after the elections, and Kosiniak-Kamysz from their proposal of voluntary social security for entrepreneurs. I told you it would be like this. Younger voters do not remember the rule of this duo, so they may be surprised, but you will have to get used to being fooled by them more than once. You will soon understand why people preferred Law and Justice to them in 2015. However, the opposition not only wants to change the composition of the judges on the Constitutional Tribunal, but also to recognize as a non-existent the rulings of the constitutional principles of the state, including the incompatibility of the eugenic abortion premise with the Constitution. Politicians from the Civic Coalition, the Left and the Third Way, signed the conclusions of the program for the repair of the Polish judiciary, drawn up by George Soros's Batory Foundation. The first Sejm will be convened by the president and, according to the Constitution, must be held no later than 14 November.